Hi, and welcome to Dependisplaining. My name is Jennifer.
I'm Lindsay.
Hi, Veronica.
And today we have a very fun topic for you guys.
Yes, we do.
We are going to be discussing these silly, crazy military laws and some funny rumors and some good stories.
Yes.
I like stories.
Super excited.
Yeah. All right. Veronica, kick us off.
I get to go first. That's what we decided on. Yay! So
You've
excited.
been voluntold, my friend.
Yes, you
Yes.
have.
So mine is the fun missionary style rule. So I'll go into a backstory with this. When Kyle first joined the military, we would only do it in the missionary style. No, so he told me that was a thing, right? That was like one of the first things he told me after like I started to kind of like integrate myself into his new life as a military member. And he's like, "Oh, you can only do it in missionary style." And I was like, "What? How is that even a thing?" And he goes, "It's in the UCMJ, and the UCMJ is like the Uniform Code of Military Justice, so it applies throughout the board, everybody in the military, right?" And I just thought it was the craziest thing. And to me, when he said that, it was like the position missionary style. So nothing else. I was like, well, how are they going to know who's in there watching me? And you get it on. So
Eagle eye.
yeah. So
For real.
Only P and the V, not in the mouth. But anyway, so I did a little digging, and I wanted to get the story straight, even though it's been 13 years since I first heard it.
This is the first I've heard it.
Yeah. So it's the UCMJ Article 125, missionary style, quote unquote. And it states, and quote, "Any person subject to this chapter who engages in unnatural carnal copulation
Unnatural?
with another person of the same or opposite sex or with an animal
Oh,
is guilty of sodomy. Penetration, however slight, is sufficient to complete the offense. Any person found guilty of sodomy shall be punished as a court-martial may direct." End quote. Yeah. Right? So everyone's mouths are currently open really wide right now.
Because I feel protected by this rule that nothing will be unnaturally inserted into my gaping mouth right now.
Right? So yeah, you can't. Yeah, and this also includes oral sex. So cunnilingus, as you may call it.
That's what I said too.
So basically, sex is between a man and a woman, and only the penis and the vaginals. Nothing else, right?
But
It
that
doesn't
does say, so it says it's illegal to be the same sex gender? Engaging?
like even consensual man, woman, no. Like it's a no-go. Even if you're married.
Even if it's missionary and they're the same sex, it's illegal?
That's right. Yeah.
Well, I support the animal thing, but don't you think that that's a bit unethical?
Well, we'll go into that, yeah. So, like I said, only basically between man and a woman, right? And even them, they cannot have anal intercourse or mouthal intercourse. Is mouthal a word?
It's now.
Oral.
Mouthal.
Sorry, they cannot perform oral on each other.
So you cannot use your mouth.
No, you cannot. It's against the rules. So it's a voluntary, and I'm going to say that lightly, law to live by. But it is punishable by law, not just in the military, but in some states as well. And I was reading, yes, so I was reading in Texas, same thing. There was a law in Texas that was applied to like homosexuals and sodomy, whether it was married couples or just two consenting adults. Let's see. And like I said, no oral sex or cunnilingus is a no-go. Sodomy is a crime. Cunnilingus. It's just fun to say. Sodomy is a crime even if it's between two consenting adults. There's nothing mentioned about self-gratification. So like masturbation is okay.
Sex. Now that we've got your attention.
Yeah. Are you listening? So it's okay to finger yourself, but don't finger others.
Keep your fingers to yourself and inside the vehicle at all times, please.
There you
Also,
go.
no scissoring. It doesn't say anything about scissors.
So that's my question. So it's like the missionary. It's not necessarily the positioning.
It's not the position.
It's the whole, the target.
It's
of
the target.
whole and
only
penetration.
where you can
Yeah.
have reproductive sex, like where you can,
Because you're only allowed to have sex to create humans anyway.
that's right, yeah.
Mhm.
So this was
Well,
actually instated like over 100 years ago, the UCMJ. So I couldn't find anything on the Article 125 itself, like when it was placed there, but I'm pretty sure it has been there since the UCMJ was
Yes.
created.
It
for-
sounds like a nice get out of jail free card for those experimental people where the other partner is not experimental. You can just whip out your AFI code or your UCMJ and be
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't have to use my mouth, it's against the law.
Yeah.
I am a rule follower, and I will follow
And
all the
I'm
rules.
sorry, that whole is off limit. It's protected by the UNCJ.
Well, there's stories saying that some of the some of the wives were turning in their husbands for these acts in the bedroom like night before, and they just didn't feel. I couldn't find any cases. I think they keep them under wrap so tight, like you couldn't find anything. The only thing I was finding was like rape cases, which also fall under that article. Also, engaging in sex work, male or female, will earn you max punishment. So dishonorable discharge, forfeiture of pay, all pay, allowance, and confinement for up to 1 year. Pimping will give you 5 years, so don't be pimping. Yeah.
Don't get caught.
Yeah, so I thought it was insane, and I was
Don't
trying.
be a sex sleaze, people.
Don't be a sex sleaze.
Gross. Have some pride in yourself and others around you.
I could not find any cases where it talks about people getting outed. The only one I found was it was so sad. It was about a man in like 1948 during World War II. He was in his early 20s. He was gay, but he didn't like flaunt it. So, and people saw him at like a Halloween party, and he was dressed kind of flamboyant for their taste, I guess, and they outed him and they kicked him out. They discharged him dishonorably. And a few years ago, they gave him an honorable discharge for that. And he, I thought that was really sweet because he was an old man, and he said now he can, raise his head up high because he felt shame after that happened. He was a gay man, but he was definitely keeping it a secret for that. But I did find with this story, it reminded me of something that I heard years ago, and I had to go back, and I was such a true crime fanatic, and I found it on a story on Crime Junkie about this missing girl by the name of Amy Lynn Bradley. She went missing on March 21st, 1998 from a Caribbean cruise. And her family was super, you remember that? You've heard it?
Mm-hmm.
So her family was super worried, right? And they were trying to get the attention of the crew. And they were like, the crew didn't want to scare anybody. They didn't want to worry anybody about a missing person.
Hysteria.
And the family said before we docked, like, they wanted answers as to where they went. She couldn't have fallen overboard because of the setup of the railing. But anyways, the ship docked in Curacao, and the crew did nothing to stop the people to get out. They wanted to keep everything on track and on time and let the people go out and have a good time. So they never found her, right? They never found her, and they were thinking she's probably in Curacao, like what if she got kidnapped? And then in 1999, a U.S. Navy service member claimed to have been approached by a woman who was claiming she was Amy Lynn Bradley, and she begged him for help. Saying that she was, because he found her in a brothel. She was a sex worker. And because of this UCMJ Article 125, he could not disclose that he was at a brothel because that would be engaging in, prostitution, basically. That he was engaging in it, which is against the UCMJ.
Because pimping gets you 5 years.
Yeah, well, he wasn't pimping. He was
worse.
Yeah,
it's worse.
Yeah, so he would have.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, so because of that, he wasn't able to give that information out. They could have helped her. Like, he could have helped her and brought her back with him on the ship or something, alerted the authorities right away.
So how did his story get out if he was afraid to talk, but then...
After he was done with the military. After he was done.
He wasn't
gone back and
He was active duty, so he was too afraid.
Yeah.
to getting in trouble.
He was afraid of getting in trouble, so after he left the military, then he disclosed that story, and it was really sad. And she hasn't been found to this day, by the way. Yeah, that's all I have, pretty much.
That is a horrible story.
Yeah.
Can we end on something a little more upbeat?
Yes. Well, luckily, and I'll say this at the end, but the Don't Ask, Don't Tell that was instated in 1994 by the Clinton administration. I love you, Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
Not for that though, just because he's really good looking, not because of the Don't Ask, Don't Tell. But anyways, that's another story. So that was put in order, and a lot of these service members suffered from that because they couldn't live their lives normally, and of course they were banned from having sex in the butt or fingering each other, whatever. Anyways, but in 2011, of course, that was repealed. Thanks, Obama.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Obama.
Obama. And it no longer is there. So now that article is basically for forcible rape, forcible sodomy, for all those disgusting people that think it's okay to do that to other people.
Yeah,
it's not. I
it's
hope your
true.
dick falls off.
Yeah.
And there's my story.
There's a good
Great
quote
one.
about that from
Dr.
what is
Seuss?
it?
Dr. Seuss?
Ace Ventura or something. I hope you die of gonorrhea and rotten hell. What's that from? Remember?
Never heard more beautiful words come out of your mouth.
Yeah, those kind of people, you know, they have a special place for them.
Keep your
They
hands
do.
to yourself unless that person consents to it, basically. Keep your dick in your pants unless that
real.
person consents to it.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Thanks
Hey,
for your
Lindsay.
findings.
Yeah.
I
Hey.
can't wait to hear about your topic.
Hey,
What is your topic?
Well, you guys were talking about rules, and I just wanted to get some general rules in. So a quick little internet search brought me to this blog, The Military Wife and Mom, where she talks just briefly about a few etiquette rules, which is kind of cool if you're going in from not knowing anything. You're married into the service, or you're new to it, and some just basic guidelines that she talks about in her little blog is there's one that a lot of people make a fuss of, is that you're not supposed to wear gym clothes on base unless you're actually going into a gym. So like the BX or the commissary and stuff, they do have certain rules about wearing your gym clothes or being all sweaty and messy for appearance purposes and for etiquette purposes. And so she says her rule of thumb is save your gym clothes for the gym and your jammy pants for your home. This also extends into PT gear. So if you are a spouse and your husband or wife is active, you're not supposed to be wearing their PT clothes. You're not supposed to be wearing their uniforms at all.
Why would you wear their PT clothes? It's
Some
so
people,
ugly.
you know how you
yeah.
put on like the top or like the sweater or the joggers or something?
Oh.
Like I could see the tops are really comfortable. It's like this gray cotton. It's super soft.
Yeah.
I used to sleep in one of my husband's.
Really?
Yeah, and it's reflective, so I already always felt somebody had my back. But if you want to go really into depth, I'm just doing like a general breakthrough. The AFI code for the dress code and appearances for civilians and military is AFI code 36-2903.
Wow.
Ooh.
You could look it up
Write that down, people.
Yeah.
write that down.
It's serious.
AFI 36-2903.
That's only for Air Force, though, right?
I think she just said.
You know
civilian
what?
code.
That's a super good question. Yes, this is Air Force. AFI would
Right.
be Air Force.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes. Sorry, I should have known the answer to that when you asked me, but my brain processes.
But I think it does, like I
Slower.
said, like the USMJ itself translates across the board,
The
so they
whole ones.
might have a few wording.
Absolutely.
differently.
And different ones are more strict, and that's what I remember is because I didn't grow up into the military. As I started out into it, I never heard anything about the dress code until we were over at Kadena. And Kadena has all branches of military, Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, you name it. And the Marines had really diehard, or certain bases, they'd be like, no, you can't go there wearing that. But then on Kadena, you could go into the BX and wear your yoga pants. And so it definitely, that would be one to cover later for me to really dive in there and get the deets on that. The different branches, it varies in severity,
Right.
what you're supposed to do. But overall, your appearance, you know, you want to dress classy and not trashy. And if you're all sweaty and dripping and stuff, and you go in and start picking produce in the commissary next to like the mom and the kid, and you just look really unsanitary, it just kind of grosses you out, you know? Like maybe you would have chosen those apples, and then you're like, you know what? The apple today is not going to take the doctor away.
Like, how many burpees did you do on that dirty gym?
Exactly.
floor?
Did they wash their hands after using those yoga
Probably
mats and
did
everybody's
not wash your
bathroom?
hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how sanitary are those sanitary wipe down wipes, you know? Another topic in the etiquette is showing respect while the national anthem is playing.
Yes.
This is a super good topic. Okay, so it will play on your base every day. If you live on base or if you're driving on base, it is the same time and it varies. I've been on different bases where it was different times. And you stop your car. So if the person in front of you just suddenly stops their car and it's whatever the time it's playing, 4:30, 5 o'clock, it's usually during kind of like a rush hour time.
Just the end of the day.
Yeah. It's super rude to turn around and pass that driver and keep going down the road. You're supposed to stop. So if your music's too loud that you can't hear it outside, turn your music down, pay attention, notice the sounds. Some other etiquette rules that I read is that for just honor and showing respect, is that any gum chewing, talking, or smoking during the national anthem should be fully avoided. And you will notice if you ever go into a movie on a base theater, they play the national anthem before the movie starts. Stand up, take your hat off, you know, put your hand on your heart, or
My son jams out to it.
oh, he's so cute.
I'm like, stop it.
It's pretty cute. But PDA, do you guys know what that acronym means?
Personal display of affection. Personal?
Public.
Display.
Display
My personal
of
display
affection. So, you know, your service member, he's all dressed up, clean shaven, nice haircut,
You want
pressed
to jump his
uniform.
bones because
And
they look
you
so hot.
just want to hold that against your body. Hey, if I told
Yeah.
you you had a nice body, would you hold it against me?
Just get right in there.
Don't do it. Stop in the name of love. Yeah, you save that kissy for later, according to this blog. But PDA really is prohibited for any uniformed personnel. Sometimes even hand holding is a bit far, but it depends. So it's best to refrain in public. You know, your military member represents an image of America and of freedom, and not of trashy necking displays.
Plus, it's just gross. Like,
it is.
like a little peck on the lip when you're not in uniform. I'm talking. It's fine. But like when you're full on making out, and I can see your tongue slobbering around.
I can see that bulge in the pant line.
Yeah.
Is that a banana?
Disgusting people.
Or is your cell phone ringing?
Yeah,
It's true. That one I did know. I knew of that one.
PDA.
Yeah.
My husband prepped me for it when he went to basic, and he was like, just so you know, there's rules. So, like, you're not allowed to hug me or touch me or kiss me or whatever. I know it's been a long time, but don't.
Yeah.
And I was like,
It's like
okay.
a brief hug.
So I saw him from afar, and I, like, kind of winced in fear of, like, oh, no, am I hugging him with my eyes? Will I be in trouble?
With your eyes?
Yeah.
How do you hug with your eyes?
I walked up to him like Mr. Burns.
Like that. Your hands were in a claw formation. Like
Well, I'm frustrating. So, speaking of these service members and their uniforms,
So hot.
have you ever tried on your husband's uniforms?
Yes.
Everybody
Yes.
has, right?
Yeah.
Okay, come on. I'm going to answer for you. So that's a no. Like, I mean, what you're doing behind your closed doors in your home and whatnot is fine, but like the uniform is a symbol of everything that they've gone through, their hard work, their basic training, and basically no one should wear a service member's uniform except for the man or woman who earned it. So you'll see sometimes women will like put it on or the top, and they'll like snap a photo and Instagram it or Facebook it, and that's supposed to be a super sign of disrespect to the uniform. Or you'll see those like word boudoir
Yeah, that's what I was
shots.
just gonna say.
Which, I mean, I guess if it was staying in your home or whatnot, or was a gift for your husband or something, but anything that's kind of displayed like that is shown as disrespect. Just FYI.
What about with the babies? Because I did it with.
mine.
Yeah,
too.
I know. Oh, and they're like on the boots and they have the hat and
Yeah.
stuff. I know. I'm not so sure because it's supposed to be. That's a really good question.
Yeah, maybe because he earned it too. Like, well, not the baby, but like the spouse. It's like, oh, He's my child.
He's
I
part
don't
of
know.
me.
Yeah.
That's my blood.
Yeah.
That's me and another me. That's a really good question. I'll have to dig deeper into that
Yeah.
one, find out. But
I mean,
but
I guess
yeah.
if you're not, as long as you're not displaying it all over things. Like, I did them and I took pictures, and it's one for me to have he was deployed at the time too, and then to send to like his family too that wasn't in our state, so.
Right,
It's just
he's
kinda-
not here, so I'm wearing his skin.
I thought
I haven't washed
I turned his uniforms into lampshades. Wow, that went dark real fast.
that escalated real quick.
I have that effect on things.
I mean, I was trying to make it cute, but sure.
I'm sure it was really cute. Before my darkness entered your world.
Oh,
Okay, so another one is, I hadn't heard this one before. Maybe shame on me, but you're supposed to walk on the left side of your service member while they're in uniform.
That's crazy.
And that's in the event that they have to salute somebody, so you don't take an elbow to the forehead or get in the way of their saluting out of respect and whatnot.
That's sweet.
Right, because you can like hook your arm through their elbow,
Mhm.
so I guess that would hinder it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if
They're
you're
looking
on
out
the
for
left
your
side, they
safety.
have their right hand
Yeah.
to salute with. It's free.
I can't do that because Kyle's fucking left-handed and he just smacks me all the time anyways with his left hand when he goes like, yeah. When we're eating, I cannot sit on his left side and he like eats with his elbows up in the air and like
Oh my
shoveling
gosh.
food.
My brother's
So-
like that. They full on get in there. They use their shoulder.
Oh yeah, all
like-
their upper
There's like
body strength.
rotation. They like scoot and pivot and like it's-
Shovel right in.
Dang, do you need some more space there, homie?
For reals.
Lefties.
I didn't know that one either.
Yeah, it was new. It was cool to read. Some other etiquette. I know I talked about the Star Spangled Banner, but there's also stopping for colors and the raising or the retiring of the flag. So if you hear the music for those, or you see the flag ceremonies going on, you need to stop your vehicle if you're driving, or if you're walking, politely stopping, face the flag, and put your hand over your heart for respect. In public forums, social events, parties, etc., it is, I guess, proper etiquette to avoid conversing about politics, sex, and religion. That one's kind of given, yet many people
Yeah.
don't tend to follow that.
No.
But if you're really going for classy, not trashy, don't talk about those things. Because also, you don't know who can hear you.
I just
So,
did.
yeah.
And everyone can hear me.
Yeah.
I talked about the P and the D.
Sex.
Yeah.
Now that we've got your attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But so, I mean, I don't know, your neighbor next door, if they're creeping and peeping through your walls, we could be highly offensive and possibly put under sexual harassment charges because of
Oh.
our talk could be unwanted to somebody else or offensive.
That means
Oh.
close your ears and go listen to something else.
Yeah. Don't
Mind your own business.
pay attention to the yelling coming from the bedroom.
There's another rule called the no walk and talk rule for service members. I saw Taco through this when he was in the phases at tech school, but basically service members are not supposed to walk and talk on a cell phone while they're in uniform or walk and eat or drink while in uniform. So no walk, no talk rule is that. So if you're a spouse and you're calling your uniformed member and they're not answering your phone,
They're probably walking somewhere.
maybe they're walking and that's why they're not
Yeah.
talking.
I've had this happen to me where I'm walking with Kyle and he's in his uniform and his phone rings and I keep going and I left him behind. He's like pulls himself away and like goes somewhere else to talk.
Priorities. I do that when my phone rings.
Yeah.
I'm not the military member.
Well, only because you can't chew gum and walk at the same time.
It's not about multitasking. I'll be like, if I'm in the moment and I'm doing something, my phone is gonna wait.
Yeah.
That thing doesn't own me. Sometimes it does. Oh,
It
it's
does.
horrible.
As you're on it right now.
Right. I have to read through this blog. There's one about learning and recognizing ranks out of respect and just knowing the proper way to address people and their rank.
Right.
That's something as a spouse going in, maybe you're like, I don't know who is and what is.
Yeah.
A quick Google search or a look in a book, and you can find out what the ranks are, what they look like. And maybe you'll never learn them, and maybe you will. And
I have no idea.
No.
It's like I do, and then I don't know, and
Yeah.
there's like a new commander that comes in, but I just don't know
The
like
officers,
what there are.
yeah, the officers I can't tell.
He has to tell me first what rank they are, so I
Yeah.
know how to address them. And I still feel weird calling them like Colonel, blah,
Dude.
blah, blah, and I'm like,
dude,
is that right? So like, I feel like that's not right.
Oh,
Just
right. I
saying.
get really uneasy with it because we're enlisted.
Yeah.
My husband is, and I'm married into this enlisted life. I don't know a whole lot about the officer side,
Yeah.
the officer world, but a quick look in a book or a Google search could teach me. So I'm the only one holding myself back. Some other etiquette is for like formal invites and parties and things. RSVP and write thank you notes. These are just, I think that this is just common sense in life in general. Some people do it, some people don't, but if you're invited to a thing and you can't go, RSVP, you can't go. If you're going to go, RSVP, because usually there's a seat for you or a meal for you or a drink or a something. And how are they supposed to plan that if you ghost them and then appear suddenly going, boo, I'm here?
I'm here and I'm expecting all my things.
And thank you notes are endearing, you know? If somebody goes out of their way, how cute is it to get a handwritten card? It's so not today, right?
No, nobody does that anymore. I'm really.
How
I
about
don't
a
do that.
Facebook thank you?
Yeah,
Or a
anything.
text. Thank you.
I like to do the prayer hands and the bow, the namaste, thank you. Oh, thank you so much, I say.
I gave her a ride to her car yesterday from the gym, and she was like, thank you, the whole way there. Can I give you something? Can I give you money? And I was like, what? No. I was like, weirdo. I was like, yes, fill up my tank, which I need to fill up my gas tank.
Yeah, I just did that today. I was running.
Yeah, my light's about to turn on any second now. But I was like,
Oh.
sure, fill up my tank. She's like, you want me to? I'll fill it up for you. I was like, no, crazy.
I would do that because of your services are
I was
very
already
much
on
appreciated.
base, so it was fine. And then she sent me a text saying, thank you again. I was like, it's
And
fine.
my printer ran out of ink, but I have a card that I made on Photoshop. I'm just kidding.
She's not kidding.
And then I gave you bean dip.
Oh my gosh, and now I need to really write a thank you card. I'm really slacking.
The bean dip was so good.
That
Thank you. I
bean
didn't
dip.
get any.
Fun fact about Veronica is she is like top chef. She feeds her village
I
and
do feed the village.
she does a good job. Like her
Thank you.
food's actually really good.
Thank you.
So whenever you get food from Veronica, it's like fireworks are igniting in the world around you, and your feet kind of melt into the earth, and you feel all warm and fuzzy inside, and then you can't help but do this little shimmy shake, excited giggle, Edie movement.
Thank you. It was very,
Fun facty?
that was very descriptive.
It was
I liked
beautiful.
It. Yeah,
Thanks.
it's gorgeous.
That's my journey.
You're like
But-
a creative writer.
A creative speaker.
I learned
Yeah,
that.
that's just pops up in your brain.
Yeah. But those are my basic guidelines on the etiquette. There are so many more things that we could look up and
Yeah.
dive into later. But I just feel like I've been yapping and yapping. So let's move on. I believe, Jen, you got some fun stuff
What
to
do
share
you got?
today.
Do tell.
So, it's not a whole lot, but I went with the funny rumor of things left out on the lawn or a certain color light, and I couldn't find anything about the Tide box in the window. I really tried. I mean, I searched, and I was getting super frustrated because
But what do those signs mean?
Google
Yeah,
was
what signs for
frustrating.
what? What do you put your light on for?
So in base housing, there are rumors that different colored porch lights. Some people have heard it's been green, some people have heard it's been blue. But if you have a different colored porch light, it means that your house is open. Your husband's gone, and your house is open.
Oh.
Whether that means
Welcome to the
red
Thunderdome.
yeah, red light district.
Roxanne!
It's you're either your husband's gone or you are in an open marriage, so you are
Swingers.
in agreement.
Ooh, open
Of
marriage.
that.
Now, what is that?
You're a swinger and you like to swap partners with
Ew.
another couple.
Oh.
I won't
It's
even
also
share a toothbrush with my husband. You think I would want to share my husband?
Yeah.
Don't share toothbrushes, gross.
I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, everybody's got their things.
Yeah, yeah.
And I get
No
like
judgment, I guess.
No, definitely
Sorry.
no judgment. Just in my opinion, my brain is too crazy to be okay with that.
Yeah.
That's all. There's also Pink flamingos is
I have
another
heard the
one.
pink-
Oh,
flamingos,
stop! I
yeah.
see pink flamingos all the time in the like spouse, wiving,
Yeah.
Spirit Week things, and the flamingo yards and stuff.
Yeah, so that's definitely a different thing.
So there,
Yes,
you can
but-
have a pink flamingo, and it's like, hey, doors unlocked, come
Yes.
on in.
Pink flamingo. There's also if you leave a broom on your porch
Oh.
was another one that I found.
I thought those were all the witches.
They're witching for something.
Come in, my pretty.
But according to the UCMJ, if you're caught with swinging, that is still you're breaking rules.
You're breaking rules.
You are breaking that,
That's
and you can be
basically
punished.
pimping, right?
It's adultery, as they say.
adultery
'cause-
and pimping.
Yeah, they also call
And
it.
just like saying pimping today.
They call it wife swapping too. So it's like
Ew.
you can be swingers, or you can.
Why's
wife
it gotta be
swap.
my wife?
I've heard of key
Yes.
parties where you go into the
Key
parties.
parties,
Yeah.
yes.
Those are keys
So-
in the jar.
I mean, these are all things that I've just been Googling. Nothing is for sure.
That's a
I
great
don't have full
excuse.
facts on everything. I don't. But I did. There was one that it wasn't that great of a story, but it was saying that this guy went to a key party and had no idea what a key party was. And it was a bunch of officers.
Ooh.
And it is a key party is where everyone puts their car keys into a basket at the front, and then at the end of the night, they say typically the women go and pick a key and go home with whoever that guy is.
Sounds
Sounds hot
hot.
roddy.
Yikes! Gross. But yeah, so it's a key
What
party.
if you didn't like your pick? Do you get a redraw?
I don't like my key. Can I exchange this key for a
Sorry,
different?
this
more-
key doesn't fit.
That just means you need to go get really drunk.
Oh no.
I don't
If
know,
you
it's-
have stories and you're listening to this
Yeah.
right now, we would love to hear your
Ooh.
tales.
If you have heard of anything, you heard of a crazy story, or you know of a story, we will totally keep it anonymous. We won't.
Yeah.
We will not point you out if you don't want to, or
Anonymity.
yes. But we would love to hear it. You can email us at dependisplaining@gmail.com. But speaking of stories, I do have one story that's kind of entertaining. Oh, also heard, and I never actually got full stories on it, but I heard Canon had a really big swingers group there. And got
Cannon is
busted.
in New Mexico.
Canon, yeah, New Mexico.
Must be all that sunshine. Goes
Oh,
straight
yeah.
to the brain.
All that sand goes
Straight to the hole.
vagina.
We went in the same direction. We're so disturbed.
That went down there. Yeah, that was the big one. I was trying to find something there, but my story is from McGuire Air Force Base, which is in New Jersey, on base housing. So this is a story I got directly from Reddit.
I'm so excited.
I don't know the person. I don't know who he was, but so he was a security force officer patrolling base housing.
Oh, he didn't.
Oh, he gets a call about a domestic assault. So he's patrolling the area, whatever. So he goes straight over there, and when he pulls up, there's two families outside fighting,
Oh.
arguing with each other, and he doesn't know what's going on. So him, and then there's some backup that comes out to help him out. So what he finds out is it's two families. Wife A comes home and sees that her husband is banging wife B, the neighbor.
Sees it.
Husband B, the neighbor, comes to the house because he hears all the shouting and screaming and yelling to see what's going on, and then all hell breaks loose. And this is where they come outside and start arguing, and it's the families, the kids are outside,
Oh,
everything.
no.
Even the kids are fighting?
Well, I don't know if the kids are fighting, but they're out there.
Now they're listening to their
Yeah,
parents
that's horrible.
arguing.
Yes. So
No
he's...
kid needs to hear this.
No.
Mommy, are you okay? No.
What did Daddy do?
He did it. It was a neighbor. He did me.
He said he was bringing cookies.
Yeah. And he fell into me over and over.
Oh, God. Okay, so
Multiple times.
So the security forces guy, he's thinking that it's just like cheating going on, and his wife walks in, and, you know, her husband's cheating on her. No. They find out that there's more. The wives then admit to him that it wasn't cheating. She wasn't mad the fact that she came home and saw her husband banging wife B. It was the fact that it was not wife B's scheduled day.
Oh shit.
Oh,
What?
no.
They were swingers.
Oh.
They have a actual schedule of when husband A can bang wife B.
Oh my
and
God.
You're supposed to
husband
save
B
your
can-
energy, eh?
What
What
difference
the B is going on?
Like, what difference did it make at that point? Anyway, sorry.
Right. She was pissed that it
It was
wasn't.
off schedule.
You
It
know
was off
what?
schedule.
Mommy
She was
Dearest
getting some extras.
Yeah, Mommy Dearest was really serious about schedules and organization too. So sometimes,
Where's this going?
sometimes when you step off the path, it makes Mommy really angry.
The movie, huh? Did you see that movie?
Metal coat hangers! Oh, you don't know? That's why you don't. Mommy Dearest
Yeah.
is a movie, and
It is.
she's crazy, and so like that's it. Like just this chick is angry about a schedule instead of the fact that
Yeah.
her
She was probably.
adulterous mate is.
It's probably her day, and that's why she's
Yeah.
probably pissed her husband's using all his
Spunk.
juices,
Juiceless.
energy on the other
Stamina.
lady.
Sipping on gin.
Because I mean, really, like
Stop singing.
Sorry.
They're gonna charge us for all these
Oh!
songs.
Oh, that's a problem.
Copyright.
Jen is you. You're
This is
Jen
just
and
their-
you're Jews.
Oh,
My
Jen
juice.
and juice.
Yeah.
I like juice.
I like Jen.
So yeah, so that was it. That was at New Jersey. So there was, I mean, so they didn't. I don't know if they ended up getting in trouble or not. It didn't really say because he probably didn't know anyway. But he realized that they had a colored light, and which
What
would tell
color?
you he didn't know, or he didn't say. He just said, but he realized he's like, oh, so they switched out the color in their porch light to let you know when it's good to go.
I wonder if they switch it for each day too. Like
Well, when you're
on
when it's-
Wednesdays we wear. Oh, I can't say that either, can I? On Saturdays our light's red. On Mondays it's blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They switch it up so when they know they're open for business.
Yeah.
With their children, I don't know. Come on, guys. Like, that's weird. I don't know. Like, then it makes me think, like, you all have children. Are those your husband's children? Or, see, now my brain's getting complicated.
I
Yeah,
don't know,
I like
Jen.
that.
That's a great question. You have children too. Are those your husband's
I'm
children?
talking about when they're
Oh.
swinging.
Oh, I thought
like,
you were
okay.
looking at me and Veronica. Okay, so that's where I thought your story was going to turn when I was listening to you, and I
yeah.
thought you were going to be like, well, it turns out she's mad because really, Luke, I am your father kind of scenario where the other one is, dang, I can't stop quoting things and saying things.
That's right.
that it's not. I thought it was going to turn that way. They were going to find out that Johnny was really Sammy's kid instead of Earl's.
Oh, poor Earl.
Oh, no, yeah, they're just swingers. Found their first pair of swingers.
That's crazy. I heard of those rumors too, where it's like the porch light is a different color. It means you're swingers, or the Tide bottle on the windowsill where they can see outside means you're open for business. Like your husband or your spouse is deployed.
Terrible,
I heard,
by the way, terrible.
Could you imagine
Don't do
being
that.
said swinger and listening to us talking about it right now? They're probably like, those dodos have
Yeah,
no
they might be
clue.
like,
So email us and tell us what's
Tell
going
us
on.
what's up. We want, like,
All the
enlighten
deets.
us.
All the
Come on.
deets.
Dude,
Yeah.
we like crazy stories.
We
and
do.
we're not
too.
judging. We
We're not
promise.
judging.
It's very interesting to us because we don't live that lifestyle. So
Yeah.
we have no idea. And honestly, I lived on base housing before and I never heard any crazy stuff. We were in a quiet area.
Yeah.
Nothing happened.
And have you ever had one that didn't end in drama explosions? Because, I mean, that can't go long
It
without
can, right?
SH hitting the fan. Usually, when you have interactions physically and emotions mixing into a pot of multiple people, something is ready to burn and explode.
Yeah.
yeah.
Something in time, in due time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why you need to be careful because then, if you've got somebody who's angry, they can get you into a lot of trouble.
Mhm.
So,
If you have someone who's psychotic, they might get you into
Oh,
trouble.
yeah. Yeah.
yeah, that's true. Well, Lindsay,
Hi.
you have our base highlight for this one.
Let's
Yep, on it.
highlight a base, my friends. Today's highlight is going to be on Fairchild Air Force Base. Now, Fairchild is located in Washington. It's about 12 miles south of Spokane in this little town called Airway Heights.
Oh, we were so close when we were in Montana.
So crazy.
Yeah.
So we actually were stationed there many years back. So I'm sure certain things in the area have changed because, places grow. Airway Heights is really small and they were starting to build new things. They had like a casino there where you could get foods or gamble or have your squadron Christmas party and whatnot. But basically, Fairchild is the home of the 92nd Air Refueling Wing assigned to the Air Mobility Commands. They also have the 141st is the Air National Guard. And then the other units is they have survival school, evasion resistance, and escape schools. I remember their SEER program being really intense, and they would use like the gym and stuff, the pool at the gym. But their survival training there was really good from what I heard from some people. I knew a couple SEER guys. But they have a vision. If you can go to online and just click in a search Fairchild Air Force Base or whatnot, and they have pages if you want to look around, or if you have orders there, you're getting stationed. Their vision is the world's finest total force airmen leading to the nation's premier air refueling team. Their mission to provide responsive air refueling and agile combat support across the full range of military operations. I will say with Fairchild, they're a really huge home or hub to the Stratotanker, the KC-135. So you'll see a lot of their stuff is the refueling and the maintenance and the phrase, there's a tanker in the air, maintenance putter there. That's where I learned that one. A little bit about the base. So if it's your first base, you'd be like, wow, okay, I'm at a base. I mean, we moved from Orange County where there's things at your fingertips every direction you look. But I grew up in the sticks, so it wasn't weird when we got there. It's a bit more isolated. And I was like, oh, it was cute and kind of old-fashioned-y. Everything's kind of bricky and almost looks European in a way, but not that brick colonial look to me.
Yeah.
But I had friends that came from like big bases like Kadena or Ramstein, and they're like, where is everything? And I was like, oh, this is all I know, and this is great.
Yeah.
So they do have a BX and a commissary, your legal office, your post office, and the chapels, clinics, libraries. There's a community center in the like housing developments. Tons of parks and a disc golf course. They had a really cool, it was called the Fun Spot, I'm pretty sure. A fun spot that was like the bowling alley, and then you could do skating rink, but on certain nights, maybe the weekends or something, they had like bouncy castles and play areas for little kids. We spent a ton of time there with my little girl was little when we went there, and we would bowl and play and jump. Then they had like a food restaurant in there and stuff, but they also have like your standard things, a gym, an outdoor running track. I think they were in the process of building an indoor one and redoing one of the gyms. And they had a pool in their gym, which was really cool because I had my first child over there, and they had a mommy and me swim.
Oh, that's
swim,
awesome.
And it was really cool.
Yeah.
That's nice.
It was done by the lady was the lactation consultant there, and she was so sweet. She was so good with kids and so good with new moms and old moms and all the moms.
I feel like bases lack that. Like a yoga, like prenatal yoga, or like mommy and me stuff. I feel like
that's
all
what
the
was
bases
great.
we've been to lacks it, and
Agreed.
They need it.
And you either have one or the other. Like they'll have like
Yeah.
a gym with a baby room or something. This one didn't have when I was there, but I mean this is years ago, so I know they were redoing the gym, so they probably may have something now. I have no clue at this today. And a Google search could probably find that. But super cool with the mommy and me and the lactation. Like the lady came to my house and was like helping me with breastfeeding and doing the things and showing me how to pump and how to clean it and all the things. And they had like the bod pod if you wanted to go in and find your body, your fat to muscle ratios, and nutritionists and all kinds of stuff on there if you were seeking health. With the medical though, they have like a clinic there if you had like an acute visit or something, but they didn't have an ER. But Spokane was about a 15-20 minute drive. So if you were going to the ER or delivering your baby, you went into the town of Spokane. Same thing with your OB appointments, as you would get a referral and go off base. So anything allergist, OBs, the women's health, I had a really, really good doctor, OB, that was over there in Spokane, and I loved it. It was really good. So I liked the ability to be able to be referred off of base. And then they did have dental, but I think the dental was just for the military member that
It
you had to.
usually is.
Yeah.
You had to go off if you were dependent or whatnot. And that we paid all out of pocket. Yeah, for the
Yeah.
only the military member was covered. there.
Usually is. They'll see you
They
and
have insurance. You have dental insurance.
yeah, which is super
Yeah,
cheap.
we added more dental insurance. We
Yeah.
got like an additional one, and then I was seen at a place in Airway Heights, and then they have a really good pediatric dental facility where all the rooms are like playrooms, and
Oh, I
there's
love
big
that.
bears and trees and books, and like the kids don't get on like a doctor table. It's super like
I love
being
that.
at home,
Yeah.
and I loved that. That was on the South Hill. Super great.
Great.
But Fairchild was like, we came these California kids living in the city and moving there, and we were like, whoa, culture shock. But the longer that we were there, we realized like it's such a beautiful area. I mean, you have the river, you have the mountains, you have the lakes, you have all the seasons, and if you can just get through the things and always have a positive attitude. Some couple things to do. I mean, you can do your normal like shopping and restaurants. Airway Heights had like a major retailer store if you had to buy things that like the BX didn't have, where you can get anything from clothes to drugstore items and garden equipment. It's a big name brand store that I won't name. And you could go to like restaurants and stuff, or if you traveled into Spokane, the city, and then it was broken up kind of into the city, and then there was Spokane Valley, which was maybe like 20 minutes further, and they have all the stores that you want, all the restaurants, malls, everything like that. Some really cool places to visit and do things with family and kids. They had it was called Riverfront Park down in the city, and it was just like a park, and you could walk over bridges over the river, and they had a carousel there in one of the buildings, and it was like remember the lady when we were there telling me it's the 5th fastest carousel in the world, and you could shoot, they would give you these little rings, and you would go around, and there was like a hole up in the ceiling or like the wall-ish, and when you would go around, you would ping your ring in. If you win it, go bleep. And if you got something or you got a ring, you got a free ride. Todd was so good at it, and he would hit it. But
we had something like that in Montana. It was the same thing.
Loved
it, was like
it, right?
An ice cream shop, and so you would go around and you would like pull the rings off of this like lever that was on the side, and like as you're going around it, you would have to time it right to like stick your finger in. And so if you got the gold ring, you turned it in at the end of the ride, and you got a free ride. You got a ticket for a free ride.
Maybe it was a gold ring, and when you sunk it into the thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, we really liked that Riverfront Park area. There was another one we used to frequent called Monito Park, and it was botanical gardens, like an arboretum. And you could walk through all these trees, and they had little kind of like a Japanese garden style zenny little
pretty.
things. And you can just like walk through forest and all these different kinds of trees. Super, super gorgeous in the spring and in the summer. And they have Spokane Falls, and you can take these little gondola rides over the falls and look down and see them crashing just beside the Riverfront Park area. Lots of fun outdoor things to do there in the downtown area. There's also some like museums and things. Northwest Museum of the Arts and Culture, or the Mobius Children's Museum was super popular with like activities and science things and all those great ways to learn through play for the kids. There's a zoological park. One thing that's super special about Spokane, and they do it every single year, the first weekend in May, to mark the beginning of spring, because there is snow. Like once the winter hits, snow is on the ground for quite a bit of time.
Yes.
I mean, you could have it like Thanksgiving till like May, essentially. And then sometimes it's not. But they do a race called Bloomsday.
Oh,
Isn't that cute? So it's a 12K race. You run
Wow.
through the city of Spokane, and every year they have a special t-shirt made.
Yeah.
And you can run, you can walk, you can push your kids in strollers. Some people go in like gorilla suits and their tutus, and like
cute.
people will dress up and do these fun little events. And it's like your first day out there. It's the initiation into spring for the city. It's really a special thing.
Montana had something like that. I can't remember what it was called.
We loved it.
That's cute. I like
It's
those.
really cute. So then too, in the Riverfront Park, they had these metal statues of people running, and then there was a wheelchair guy too, and they're all just these frozen statues, right there. Well, because the statue is kind of statuesque.
They don't move.
And when Bloomsday comes, so they have shirts for every single year, and some people in the houses will hang like each year's shirts of competitors, and that's really cool to see the rainbow of it. But they'll put the shirts on the statues.
Oh, cool.
So they're like running through the park, and they have their shirts on. It's really neat. And they do things like Big Out in the Park, where they have like food trucks and all kinds of shenanigans.
Sorry about the airplanes.
That's not the airplanes. That's your air conditioning vent.
Super loud.
Your furnace needs a good shaking and a maintenance. Sidebar, I like that. So also nearby Spokane, they have this place called Green Bluff. It's kind of out in the country, and you can do fruit picking and seasonal things like that. They'll do festivals and like pumpkin donuts and pumpkin patches and music stuff. It is insane. The pumpkin donuts, people come from near and far, and they munch those. Fun little corn mazes and hay mazes. Their pumpkin patches are amazing. And you just drive down like farm to farm to farm, and you just pick what you want. You can do Christmas trees in the winter, cut your own, or order from people there, or even wreaths or homemade crafts, jams and jellies and honeys, and then we've picked peaches there and apples, and but they do so much more, cherries, and it's just a really fun way to get outdoors. And
did they have like those delicious cherries there? Like I know in Montana we had flathead cherries. And they were like pure sugar in your mouth. They were so right? Sweet and tart. Yeah, so I was like, I wonder if they grow well in that area. That's why they're so delicious. I was like wondering if they have those in Spokane too.
I'm not quite sure because we never did any cherry picking. We just did the peaches and the apples. But I'll look into that and let you know.
The cherries.
I'm sure there's got to be cherries up there. Yeah. There's so many things. Another thing that's native to Spokane is the huckleberry.
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 I love huckleberry.
Huckleberry ice cream and pancakes and jams and syrups and teas and facial scrubs and you name it. Huckleberry lotion, huckleberry soap. Huckleberry.
Have you had huckleberry before?
I have not.
I'm
missing out apparently.
Yeah, so get yourself to good old Fairchild AFB.
I need to go there.
Drive yourself up into Green Bluff. But really super beautiful area. Another place a lot of people frequent is Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. They ride motorcycles with no helmets on. Well, some people do. That just blew my mind. I see like a Harley go down the road and be like, he's not wearing a helmet.
Yeah.
You guys, do you know how bad your injury is when like an accident is called an accident because you don't foresee yourself crashing?
Yeah.
Do you know how bad your head injuries are when you're on a motorized vehicle known as a motorcycle and you're hit by a motorized vehicle known as a car or a truck? Or a truck.
Hey, with the helmet alone, even.
The helmet still isn't important. But still, like the impact your head gets.
Insanity. But anywho, but Coeur d'Alene is super gorgeous. Boats and lakes and little riverfront, waterfront resorts and stuff. Super fun place to visit over at Fairchild Air Force Base. I forgot to touch, I'm going to wrap it up real quick in a couple minutes. I forgot to touch on the housing there. So they have privatized housing on Fairchild Air Force Base called Balfour Beatty. So you can do accompanied or unaccompanied. And the people, the unaccompanied in the dorms and whatnot, they get like shared rooms and things that have, there was things like pool tables and games situations and Xboxes and PlayStations.
For like their day rooms?
Yeah, all kinds of like a community room to use amongst your peoples. And then the housing was really nice on the base. And I know that while we were there, they were tearing down a bunch of places and rebuilding new ones. And so we got sent into a new one that had like automatic garages and super beautiful layouts. And you have nice yards and all that kinds of things. So really awesome. That's my take on Fairchild Air Force Base. If you ever visit there in the summer and that snowball guy is out in front of the BX commissary area, he has a food truck. And he slings these snow cones that are magical. Yeah. I would go back just to see him. And he's a friendly, cool guy,
I've been to Spokane. I've never been to Fairchild, but we would drive there like if we were on our way to Seattle from Montana or whatever. But the last time we stopped at this place, we spent the night in Spokane, and we ate at this one place. Like it was like all onion themed. I can't remember what the restaurant was called.
Oh gosh.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
We
What is
got-
that called? My brain isn't working.
We got bacon wrapped onion rings and there's cheese in them.
Oh,
Jizz
Shut
in
the
my
front
pants.
door.
Yeah, no, it was the best
they
thing
had
ever.
good foods.
It was
Yeah.
onion everything.
Yeah.
It was really good. I can't remember what it was called, but it was right down the road from our hotel. And yeah, I do remember
They
that.
had a really fun thing. There was a breakfast place called Old European that had these like German potato pancakes. So remember when we went to Amsterdam and I was like, "You guys, my pancakes!" Like,
yeah,
and
and you
it's
dip
like
them in applesauce.
they had
The
apple
apple
syrup. That concludes my take on Fairchild. Thanks for listening. To
That's
Yeah.
great.
Base
I want to go
highlight.
there now.
Now I want huckleberry.
Everything.
Yeah, well, I mean, I love huckleberry, but like you reminded me of how delicious it is and how we miss. Remember huckleberry?
And you
pies?
reminded me how delicious that applesauce was on those German pancakes. Oh, get in
Ah.
my mouth.
The apple syrup. Yeah,
The sauce, yeah.
yeah.
We need to go.
We're taking a trip
Yeah, we are.
Let's go right now.
down
Yeah.
memory lane.
Belgium.
Yes.
Hey, Kyle.
Hi.
Hi, Kyle.
That's Kyle. He lives here. He pays our rent.
He has a cousin named Kyle.
He has a cousin named Kyle.
We had to kick him out earlier because
Because he's noisy.
he's too loud.
He's so noisy.
Well, that's it.
But thank you guys so much for listening.
To our fun facts,
Yeah.
rumors,
We
and
talked about
stories.
rumors and stories and etiquettes and
some really silly things. And
Yeah.
But, I mean, I guess some of them might understand why they have these set rules.
Yeah. And some of them are just plain stupid.
Yeah.
and some of them we won't understand ever.
No.
Anything from the peanut gallery over there?
Nope.
No? No comment from Kyle, he says.
He's a man of many words.
So many words.
So many.
So
Too
many.
accounts.
Well, that just reminds me, you guys. Wherever you go,
There
you are.
Goodbye.
Bye! Ciao, ciao!